It's the end of the day. It's time to close up shop. However, something tells you to stay back for a bit. For the next hour or two, you'll be staying after hours. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Double After Hours podcast, and we're talking about the sequel to a funny little film.
My God. Okay, so for context, hi, I'm Charlie, by the way. We'll introduce ourselves first.
Yeah. I'm Aaron Grosser. I'm here with Charles Robinson.
What's up, losers?
And Shane Siegel.
Hey, how's it going?
And joining us on the sidelines just to kind of see how it's all done, Phil Arcaro, he's back.
Sup, turd burglars?
Yeah, there you go.
Plagiarism at its finest. But anyway, so for context, we all watched because you've read the title. We're talking about Spider-Man frickin' 2, released in 2004. And
I was 64 days old.
I was 2 years old, almost 2 years old when it came out.
I was born. I don't remember how young I was, but I was born.
Yeah.
But in the womb. Thank you. But yeah, so basically we all watched a funny little YouTube poop before we kind of started this episode called Peter the Park Ranger. It was a wonderful, grand little time.
And it was something, all right.
Yeah.
Give me another chance.
So we'll probably be referencing that the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And I apologize in advance.
No,
but yeah, we're talking about Spider-Man 2 because Spider-Man 1 got quite a few downloads given our standards. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for checking it out. The highlights, of course, did pretty well.
Too. Yep.
Considering all things considered. So again, happy about that. And hopefully we'll produce a few more moments here.
Yeah. I know Google Feud is going to... It's going to create a couple.
Oh, yeah. It will.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of fun doing Google Feud the last time we did it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, we all know the drill here. We've done enough movies where we kind of know our freaking situation.
You've listened to us before. You already know what's going to happen. We're going to go through...
And, of course, a sequel to The Yapping. Thank you, Shane. Aaron, we're going to start with you.
Okay. I need to get a little closer now.
There we go.
All right, cool.
Just get close to the mic.
Yeah, no monologuing. Not monologuing
Not
close,
today.
but... okay, so Spider Funny 2.
Yep, Spider-Man
Funny film 2.
Yeah, funny film
Electric
number 2.
Boogaloo.
So it's the same. It's the same drill as the first one, and you said this, and I'm going to parrot something that you said last time.
Thank you.
You can't have a bad time watching it.
Amen.
You just can't. It is impossible to have a bad time watching Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, and hopefully, future-proofing. It's already out. Spider-Man 3.
Well, by the time this comes out, it won't be out.
It's going to take.
Yeah,
it'll be time.
Next week.
No. That thing's coming out in like November.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's
right.
It's going to be a little while.
That's what I get for not looking at the schedule.
There you go.
But I watched this movie this morning because, of course, that was my prerogatives. Get up early. Unintentionally got up early.
Nice.
And said, okay, I got time, so we'll watch Spider-Man 2 right now because I was going to be like an hour later, but might as well just watch it at 7 o'clock in the morning, as most sane people do. but hey, I don't know. It was goofy.
Yeah.
It has its goofy. Of course, it's Sam Raimi funny, so of course it's going to be goofy. Mm-hmm. But I think the first one, is a little bit goofier than the second one.
That's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do see that because we were talking about it a little bit earlier too. But it has its moments, and it's probably the most quotable one too. That's the one that I can see it.
I don't know. Half and half.
They're all very quotable.
They're all very quotable.
I think 3 is the most quotable.
You think so?
But that's just because I've been
Because of Bully
hyping this
Maguire.
movie up
Okay.
the whole time.
Because I don't know, because I have so many things that I say now because of that movie. Like,
Oh boy, yeah.
Pizza time, go Spidey, go. I mean, there are so
The
many.
Spider-Man 2 brain rot has gotten to your head.
Yeah.
Please.
I mean,
Peter, to all of us, by the way.
Yeah, that's fair. Peter the Park Ranger, the YouTube poop, which we mentioned we watched earlier, that definitely helps solidify a lot of those quotes. But I mean, from the movie itself, I mean, some of them are just so ridiculous, and we'll get into it when we do our long synopsis. We don't do quick synopsises here.
Yeah, thank God.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Don't look at me like that. I know my sins.
I know.
I know what's going to be on my tombstone. I'm well aware.
Quick synopsis.
It's going to be on his eulogy. We're gathered here to talk about the life of Charles Robinson. A quick synopsis.
Yeah, I already did this joke last week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Thanks for the repeat. Gosh dang it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Previously on the Double After Hours podcast.
And Zach previously on X-Men. But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'll get to the rest of my feelings and the closing thoughts, and of course as we go on. But initial thoughts, I did enjoy it. Again, you can't have a bad time watching it. I think that's a phenomenal way to put it. I don't think I could have put it any way better.
Right.
It's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Yeah. What else do you want me to say?
Exactly.
And it's the sequel.
Exactly. So we're going to hear what Shane has to say. We're going to go to the left.
All right. So I've seen this movie a bunch of times, and I agree. It is a fun movie to watch. A lot of little funny things happen here and there.
The extras.
Of course, the extras.
They're so extra.
They really are. And I've seen the YouTube poop so many times, and I still laugh at it.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Every time. But initial thoughts, I enjoy this movie. I like the way that Peter Parker's portrayed in this movie. I like the main villain being Doc Ock, and it also...
Nothing else about him. Just he's there.
Yeah, he's just... Yeah.
Thank God it was him and not Legato.
Silly Willy.
Earl.
Silly Willy.
Wow. Anyways, all in all, great movie. It did set up for the third movie, in a sense, kind of.
Not how Sam Raimi thought the third movie would go.
Exactly.
And we'll get to that when we talk about Spider-Man 3.
Yes. Yeah, it does have its own Sam Raimi touch to it. And now, on to you, Charlie.
Yeah, because Phil didn't watch the movie.
Yeah, you're just kind of, you're a long
Phil,
hill.
didn't watch the
listen,
movie.
Our main funny man, I thought he was going to be here, and I think...
He unfortunately could not join us.
No, he could not, so...
That's okay. But
have you seen the movie before, at least?
I have, yes.
Okay, then you'll be
Well,
fine.
I mean, when I was teaching, as you know from Work Stories Part 2.
I'm kind of interested in, like, from what you remember, what was your, like, impressions of it?
It was weird, but there were a lot of, like you said, a lot of quotable lines, a lot of... Pizza Time being one of them.
Yeah, right.
And, I'm just like, oh, that's where that came from.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no, it was a great film. I mean, can't really remember it for the life of me since I last saw it in March.
Yeah. Well, we'll give everyone the quick refresher.
Of course, yes.
We'll jog your memory.
long refresher.
Jog my memory of everybody else who may or may not seen it.
Right.
There you go.
So I guess we're going to turn to me before we start the whole long synopsis. Yeah, I mean, kind of like Aaron said, I've been describing this movie as like you can't really have a bad time watching it, and that's because I love this one.
No.
Like, I know, like, I don't know if I've ever publicly stated it on the podcast or the radio show when we did it, but like, I love Tom Holland's Spidey. He's my personal favorite.
Oh, sure.
I know he's not everyone's, and obviously he has his writing problems, and we'll get to that in 2026 when we talk about the Tom Holland ones. Stay strapped, everyone. We're in here for the long haul. But
Future proofing.
We're not a month-long special.
heck no. The amount of things I have planned for 2025 and 2026 and beyond, like, okay, we're doing this, then we're doing this, that, guys.
It's like our own MCU timeline.
Look around you.
We have millions of things to talk about here, people.
Yeah.
But, and so little
Stuff
time.
that listeners can't see.
Exactly. But anyway, Spidey 2. I love this one. This is my personal favorite of the trilogy, the original one, mainly just because, for one thing, obviously, it's very funny. Not as funny as the first one.
No, the first one has its charm.
No, right.
It does.
The first one is just a cavalcade of nonsense, while the second one feels like a very more focused slap to
it's
the
more
face.
organized.
Right.
But the best way I can kind of describe the second one is that I think this movie, out of almost any piece of Spider-Man media, because it's tied with a few, does the best job at portraying why the Peter Parker Spider-Man dynamic is so interesting to watch or read about from a storytelling level. And we'll get to it kind of as we go on. But it largely comes down to the simple philosophy is the more that Peter embraces Spider-Man, the more that Peter Parker's life suffers, and vice versa. Obviously, that's not a groundbreaking thing because, again, that's what Spider-Man's been since day one. But there's a lot of pieces of media that sometimes don't portray that the best. We'll get to those movies later. And I honestly think this one, just in terms of the way that, you know, and we like to make fun of Toby, and we will do it here.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the way that he's able to kind of sell Spidey's suffering here, it's very classic Spidey. Like, it's a little corny, it's a little over the top, but as a director like Sam Raimi, who very much took from those classic 60s and 80s comics, where Stan and his writing team was kind of at the top of their game and kind of defining what this character was, you can very much tell that, like, he had a very strong grasp about what made this character unique and special.
Sure.
And it honestly, I think, outside of maybe the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series, which I am going to be fighting hard for that to happen next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
That one is good.
outside of that and, like, a couple other things, I genuinely think when it comes to stuff that isn't the comics, this movie does that whole dynamic the best. So those are my thoughts. We got to start at the beginning Where before we jump
It's a very
into
good place to start.
Yeah, it is a very good
before we jump into Tobey Maguire's unfunny opening monologue, we get a very cool little art sequence of like the first movie.
I did like this a lot because it reminds me a lot of like just that early 2000s kind of
Aesthetic?
vibe to it, the
Yeah,
aesthetic to it.
yeah.
One that instantly comes to mind, and actually is a band that's featured in the movie,
Yeah.
is the band Jet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They're-
yeah, I
they're-
know it's I
Their
know.
their 2003 album called Get Born, which I have on CD, and if you
course.
open it up, it's got kind of like a little bit of like an artwork thing, and it reminds me so much of that. It's all like
Right.
in black and white, especially Mary Jane's artwork in the
Yeah.
beginning. I don't know. I think it's cool. I always liked that, and I'm kind of sad it's gone now. That everything has got to be all modern and hip.
Yeah.
Gentrified.
Bring it back.
Yes.
No more
That-
oversimplifying.
Exactly.
I want my shiny
Bring
logo.
back the 2000s, please.
I want my obnoxious 90s text.
Bring it. We're so back.
Are
So
we?
bad.
But anyway, so obviously we get our cool little drawing opening sequence. Looks like comics. Looks gorgeous. Great
I
art.
loved it. It was really great.
Exactly. And then we cut to our little opening monologue from our friend Spider-Man.
It's like, who am I? Who am I?
That's Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah, that's Mary
That's
Jane.
my shoddy. He didn't say that.
That's the one that
God, I
I'm
know.
gonna try and ask on a date.
But yeah, no, he didn't even ask. Anyway, we'll get to it. But he's like, and she can never know my secret. And freaking, we see our favorite character, Peter Parker, driving his little scooter shindig and going
He's
up
driving a little moped.
Exactly.
little funny
up to,
thing.
Going up to Joe's Pizza where he yells, "Stop! No!" He's like, "Ah!" He has to stop the whole. And and this is classic Spider-Man. He's running late to a job and all that nonsense that he has to
Yeah.
work to function. And he's like, "Listen, 29-minute pizza guarantee. You're really in the last one. Get these pizza there in 7.5 minutes or whatever it was, or you're fired. Peter,
Yeah.
you're a nice guy. You're just unreliable. Go do it." He's like, "All right, I guess I gotta go do it." So
I think it was 29 minutes.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah,
Yeah,
29.
No,
like-
but the time to deliver the
Thanks,
pizza
Domino's.
was 7.5. 29 minutes, which is the guarantee.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Or else they lose the money on the pizza. But anyway, so he's driving down the whole highway, right? Or I guess not the highway. In New York, busy
the
streets,
street.
obviously there's a ton of traffic, almost getting hit by a bunch of things. So he decides, screw it, I'm gonna just swing. Where he just kind
He's
of
flying around with the pizza.
But before that, he runs into a little corridor, and the guy looks at him, and he comes out as Spider-Man and goes, "That guy just stole his pizza." Because I guess all the New York Mets fans in the city just didn't have it in them to put two and two together. It's very silly. If this movie took place nowadays, it'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's normal. You see it
Yeah.
in New York.
It's
every
New
day.
York.
Oh, man.
You see a lot of weird things in New York.
Maybe that's
you
it.
do.
I don't know. Because I never understood that. Like, that guy should just been, hey, that's Spider-Man.
Hey, that guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Do they
On the
just
tip of
all?
my tongue.
Do they all just believe the Daily Bugle?
I
Like,
mean,
is that
yeah,
just, like, their-
supposedly, because the
yeah.
whole city's on panic, as they tell us.
No.
So I guess everyone in New York has the, brain of a goldfish.
Okay.
So, hey,
Or the
8
IQ
million
of a
people.
rock.
I don't know. Figure it out, guys.
Figure it out. It's
And
fine.
while he's swinging, he sees a couple kids playing out in the street, and
Right.
then there's a truck going by. So he's like, you know what? I gotta ditch the pizzas, save the kids.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, no playing in the streets, okay?
Yes, Mr. Spider-Man. See you later, kids.
See you, kids. See you, chumps.
It's so funny the way, the interaction is. And, it just felt so stiff.
yeah.
Which that's
Like it was
part...
written in there.
Well, I don't think
Nonchalant.
it was necessarily the way it was written. I think it was just the way the suit
was, like,
kind of looks, where it reminds me of the kind of Batman '89 problem that Keaton had.
Oh.
Where
He couldn't-
like the whole cowl was one
yeah, he
big
couldn't move
large
his
rubber
neck.
piece. So like Shane said, you couldn't move the neck. And I think that's kind of what it was here, where the whole Spidey suit is just one long piece, and you can't really move it that way. It's
So he's just moving his top half of his body.
so in scenes where it's obviously not CGI, he's like, "All right, guys, see you later." They're like, "Okay," kind of crappily flies away on a wire. You can totally tell. Oh, Spider-Man, turn off the movie. You understood that reference? You're cool, but
And then
Anyway.
after that, he gets the pizzas back, and then he arrives at the location, and you see him in the janitor's closet trying to get change.
exactly.
That was really funny.
That
Yeah.
was. And then he arrives on the to the front desk, and this is where one of the most iconic lines in the movie is. It's 3, 2, 1, pizza time.
Alfredo time.
Leave it to Charlie to ruin things.
Amen.
Anyways,
That's what I do.
hey, don't look at me, Phil.
It's
like
Taco
that.
Tuesday. It's me, Husky Spider-Man.
But yeah, but movie.
I got your Olive Garden to go.
Don't be dogging on Olive Garden like that.
I'm
Their food is
not.
good.
I'm just saying
good.
there's a lot of
Gabagool.
Italians in New York.
Yeah,
Woke up this morning, got some gabagool.
It's me, Tommy DeVito, as Spider-Man. But anyway, so after our favorite Mets fan realizes that he's not getting the money for that pizza, he gets fired, right?
Oh,
Give me another chance.
He wasn't given another chance. The whole sticker was ripped off. Yippity-dee. So, freaking...
Now he goes to the Daily Bulls.
Yeah, he has to
I'm sorry,
go-
Bugle.
Wow, so funny. Miss Brent, I'm rock hard.
Give me a violin.
5 minutes to deadline, Jonah. But anyway, so there are 5 minutes to deadline, and Peter, he's not taking a lot of pictures of Spider-Man right now. He doesn't want to do it. He's not in the mood. Because, I guess he doesn't want to make money off of himself because he sees it's wrong. He's taking pictures of people in the park or whatever. He's like, I don't pay you to be a census artist. I pay you to take pictures of that freaking Spider-Man. You're Spider-Man. Little loser. And he's like, all right, Jonah, here's your picture of Spider-Man.
Mass menace terrorizes town.
Right. It's like, it's the whole big to-do. Some of the whole Daily Bugle doesn't like that. Some of the Daily Bugle don't care, obviously.
No.
And, so Peter's stuck working this crappy job. He doesn't like very standard Spider-Man stuff. He gets his paycheck, doesn't cover the advance, whatever, right? And after all this nonsense, right? Like, I think, wait, no. Doesn't he try to go to college next, if I remember correctly?
He's
running late to college.
Yep.
That's right.
Right,
He's trying to get to
drops
Dr.
stuff.
Connor's class. Doesn't happen. He's like,
He's like, my class is already over. You missed it, and your paper on your Sun fusion thing is still overdue.
right. It's like, I'm planning on writing a Dr. Octavius, planning on not a major here, and then he walks away. Because I guess even before he was the lizard, he's still a jerk. But
Exactly.
Anyway, so, shame we never saw that in these movies. But anyway, so after, dealing with all that nonsense, other Spider-Man shenanigans, I believe, don't we get some kind of freaking... Because I feel like what I'm thinking of happens a little later. Like, you wanted to jump to, like, when he's at Aunt May's shindig.
It does, yeah, because it goes from like him meeting up with Kirk Connors to then
Hold on.
to the house.
I saw this movie yesterday.
I saw it on
remember this
Tuesday.
nonsense.
And Aaron's
He's looking up
giggling
the
over
plot on
here.
his phone for those who can't see.
I'm well aware.
Aaron's giggling. He's slap happy right now.
What?
What's going on,
buddy.
Hey, listen. Hey, buddy. I forgot the plot. But I love this movie, guys. I forgot.
Hey, buddy.
So anyway,
It's 2 hours.
Hey, but anyway, so he goes to, Aunt May's slum, and he tries to slum Lord Aunt May invites him in.
College house party.
And we're greeted by Kristen Dunst, Harry Loser.
Harry Osborn, yeah.
I know his name. I was trying
Seth.
to remember the full name.
No. It's James.
Seth Rogen.
James DeFranco.
Hey, Peter. But anyway,
It's James DeFranco.
Oh,
DeFranco.
yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I was thinking about my custom ranked name.
Durango.
Yeah,
Oh my
James
God.
Durango.
James
I figured out
Dodge
another
Durango.
one for Seth
So
Rogen.
James Franco Unchained tries to
Yeah.
figure this whole nonsense out because they're all there. It's like, oh, it's your birthday, Peter, because whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Peter is very awkward with them because Tobey Maguire. That's just the way it is.
He's Toby,
And-
of course.
Harry's like, yeah, Aunt May, not Aunt May likes you, Jesus Christ. We're not doing spider incest here. We're not doing radioactive. That's a crime.
Spidey cest.
But gross, God no. But jeez Louise, I meant to talk about Mary Jane. I meant to mention.
What, Aaron? What do you mean?
There's no what? I know what you did.
Go down to freaking Alabama.
I hear
The
it.
opportunity was there, so I had to take it.
Sentenced by a lot of people in Alabama. Oh, but anyway.
But, yeah, so now...
So, he's like, MJ really likes you, Pete. You gonna do anything about it? It's like, I don't got time for girls. You stole her away from me. And then, immediately, he goes, what about Spider-Man?
Yeah, right.
Which is,
I'm so
The friend zone continues.
which is the funniest thing about Harry Osborn in this movie is that he has two modes, friend or wanting to kill Spider-Man. There's nothing in between when it comes to Harry.
The Spider Finder.
Exactly. It's like, if you knew who he was, would you tell me? No.
No.
Well, it doesn't say no, but it doesn't really answer the question.
Nuh-uh.
Exactly. So after they all leave, and Aunt May falls asleep, and Peter notices the eviction notice, he's like, you're going to get evicted, Aunt May. And she's like, all right.
All right, here's $20.
The streets are where I belong, I guess. And, I guess she was made for the streets, just doesn't really care. But You know,
I got 2 cardboard cutouts for her to use.
There is this one comic that focused entirely on Aunt May's sex life that released in the early 2000s where she was a young woman or whatever. Because Marvel was like, we got to appeal to the young teenage girl demographic. Because they love Archie and like all the other drama, like, you know, like think soap opera comics.
Okay.
Let's do that with Mary Jane. Or, I'm sorry, Aunt May.
Aunt May.
I was gonna say.
Aunt May,
I was gonna say.
and focus entirely on her sex life. It lasted for 6 issues. It did not go anywhere.
How did it last for 6?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wow.
A lot of comics generally, like if they don't do well, they only last for
Search
6.
this up.
So 6 is
Like a 6
It's like the minimum.
like a 6-issue story or whatever.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's generally how it worked back then. Maybe it's a little different now. I don't know. But it's I was thinking about that when I said anime was made for the streets or whatever.
I think there was. I'm not sure this is a real comic or not, but it was where Aunt May married Otto Octavius.
No, that's real.
Yeah,
That was
that's what I was
canon.
thinking when you were talking about that.
Yeah, and he walked in on whatever. You know, it's again Spider-Man. It's weird. That's just the way it is. So after Aunt May being made for the streets, gives Peter $20. Like, I can't take this money. You need it for the house. He's like, no, like, just take it. I'm old. I don't have much. You stupid loser.
I'm old. You need it more than I do.
Right. So he goes back to his crappy apartment where we learn.
Rent.
Yeah, exactly. We get the rentmeister himself.
Hi.
Which I'm surprised did not make an appearance in the YouTube poop.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm so
that would have
sad.
been funny.
But anyway, so after we get the god of rent harassing Peter about like, hey, I need your rent, man. He takes that $20 he just got.
Then he's in his apartment, and it's just crappy.
He's in his apartment. It's all crappy and sad or whatever. He's, you know, trying to figure out what the heck to do
Yeah.
or whatever. And I think we get a scene where, if I remember correctly throughout the movie, where like so there's some crime afoot. I believe I'm like where like there's a
Yeah.
car chase or whatever. He has to be Spider-Man and all that stuff.
I was gonna say that's every Spider-Man
I
film.
know, but there's a lot of scenes in this movie that sometimes blur together in my head, just because like they're way too similar.
Fair enough.
But anyway, so we get a whole crime shindig, and we're introduced to the idea like, Peter, his powers are tweaking. They're not exactly working. Like the webs aren't coming out. Things are wrong. He falls on a building and he crashes, like breaks, like doesn't break his back, but he severely hurts.
That's after because it
That's
goes
way later.
Yeah,
That's way later?
that is way later because Peter he's on his way to go see Mary Jane perform.
But that wasn't the same day. As,
No,
like, when
it was in the
at
night. It was
birthday party.
at the same night though.
That wasn't the same day as the birthday party, though.
No.
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 Oh no,
was
that's
like a
the
few days
no, that's
later.
next.
Yeah, that was like a night later. Yeah.
We
thought
all collectively forgot the movie.
we all
The
did.
Double After Hours podcast.
Join the club.
Forgetting major plot details since 2024. But
Yeah.
anyway, but
It's fresh.
no, the big,
fresh
you wanna know
forgetfulness.
why I know I'm right? Because this comes up in the
$600,000.
because this comes up in the Doc Ock fight scene later in the movie.
Yeah.
So this happens now, and he has to take the elevator down, and the guy's like, "Nice Spidey outfit, thanks. It chafes down there. My radioactive spider shooter's not working." It's like, "Thanks,
Yeah.
Peter. Whatever." But anyway, so we get to the next scene, and I forgot to mention this when we were hanging out with Aunt May, but Harry is like working on a whole new thing with Dr. Otto Octavius, the person that Peter wants to write his paper on. And Peter mentions that. He's like, "You want to meet him?" And he's like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, because I'm going to be a good friend after I just switched to you hating about Spider-Man."
No.
And anyway, so he goes to meet friggin' Dr. Octopus or whatever.
Octopus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dr. Crap.
Frickin' Squiddy.
Squiddy.
So he goes to meet Dr. Squidward, and
Meets Squidward Tortellini.
Squidward.
Spider-Man. So friggin' Wyatt Aaron.
Continue.
Okay. So they're at Dr. Crap's apartment, and he like introduces his whole like power of the sun in the palm of my hands machine.
Yeah.
And you know they're talking about it for like supposedly an hour and 30 minutes, or kind of like in that kind of time frame. And you know he's yapping about, they're talking about science being science bros, and we're introduced to like the whole thing where Dr. Octavius is like, you know, being smart's a gift, and you got to use it for the right reasons. That'll come back later, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
And you know he's all stressed out about it. It's like, hey, you want to see the demonstration tomorrow? And Peter's like, okay. So
Why not?
Okay, Dad. Okay, Dad. So he goes to go see it, right?
Yep.
And trying to remember, what was the next scene after the?
Oh, he's at the laundromat when he's at the laundromat.
I watched this movie yesterday.
He's
and
at,
it all
okay,
kind
he's
of
at the
blanks.
laundromat trying to get his Spider-Man suit washed, and then he realizes, his other.
Oh, you know
clothes.
what? That's right. Because
Now,
what happened?
now it's getting to the part
Because
with,
what happened is that, like, he's talking about, like, Mary Jane or whatever. It's like, oh, there's this one girl, right? It's like,
and
hey.
it says, if you want a woman to fall in love with you, read her poetry. I tried
Yeah.
that; it did not work.
Didn't try it hard enough, I guess.
No.
But yeah,
So after Peter's reading poetry and doing his laundry, the spider suit ruined the freaking thing.
Womp womp.
Ruined his clothes. Classic, we've all been there.
No.
So he has to wear. He goes to wear a suit. He goes to freaking see MJ's play because that's when this happens. It's the next
now
day.
it's the what's it called the car chase and all that.
Right.
And he's like,
Yes.
and the kids are
Right.
like, wait, so how'd you do that? It's just like
Yeah, because he's in a scooter initially trying to go to see MJ's play. Almost gets hit.
eat,
Does a nice little
work
flip.
out, eat your vegetables.
Tells to smoke weed. We've all been
Yeah,
there.
smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Just listen to Snoop Dogg.
Part of a
There
balanced
you go.
breakfast. But anyway, so apologies I put that little shindig scene before I thought it was. My bad. But anyway,
He's going after the criminals and
right. And we basically, like, that whole thing that I described from earlier, that's what happened here.
and then he
So-
arrives at the theater, and then Bruce Campbell, who's also really good friends with Sam Raimi,
Yeah.
who's
Bruce
also
who?
in all
Bruce who?
Bruce Campbell.
Campbell.
You said
Ash
you
from
said,
Single-
Campbell.
you said Campbell.
Campbell.
Dan,
Campbell.
Dan,
Bruce
Dan
Campbell.
Campbell.
Dan Campbell and Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What's
so-
the difference?
Yeah,
Hey,
and
what's the
who's
difference?
also
So-
one of the
So the pizza papa is freaking like, listen, dude, you're late to the play. We're not letting you in. Deal with it. After he told him to clean himself up, like that whole shindig, which pretty funny. So the pizza papa kicks Peter out of the play, and Peter can't see it or whatever,
Yeah.
which is a whole big shame. And Mary Jane's obviously sad because she sees the empty seat. She's all flustered and sad or whatever, like oh. And this is when we're introduced to, I believe,
Peter losing his powers.
well, that too, like kind of what I described earlier. But we're also kind of introduced to the fact that MJ has someone else in her life. Like she told Peter beforehand, but we'll talk about it here. She's dating J. Jonah Jameson's son, the astronaut,
Yeah.
which
The
we don't
funny
really
man.
see much of. We don't see
funny guy.
The other
you
funny
don't
guy.
see him alive. You only see him,
Right.
I think, for like 2-3 scenes.
We really don't.
No,
yeah.
four technically. 4 scenes.
Right. Why am I forgetting his name? I'm
Not
forgetting.
the man with the shortest dialogue in the movie, though.
No.
With the biggest actor with the shortest
Yeah.
lines.
There's
That will come in later. Also,
Right.
fun fact, there is actually, I was going to mention this, completely off topic, but it's about Bruce Campbell.
Okay.
There is a ROM hack of The Legend of Zelda. You can find it online if you're interested in playing it, where it's all Bruce Campbell references.
Really?
I don't know why this exists, but it's a ROM hack of Link to the Past. But it's like Bruce Campbellized.
Oh, it's cool.
Cannibalized.
Cannibalized.
Cannibalized. But anyway.
Okay, and his son's name is John.
That's what
That's-
it is. John Jameson. I knew it was a J. Again,
John
I am so
Jingleheimer
sorry.
John Jim Jameson.
John Jim
Jameson.
Shoe-tastic Jameson.
What a
I
guy.
don't think it's Josh, but anyway. But
But now, so now,
maybe it was.
yeah. Now it's
knows?
the next day. Peter is calling up MJ. He's just like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I missed your play. This usher guy, and I got distracted."
And
yada
the phone
yada.
hangs up on him.
Yeah,
'cause he didn't have enough money.
then he finally reveals 30 minutes into the movie that he's Spider-Man to MJ.
Well, no, because the phone hung up.
well,
I
no,
thought
he
he put
then
more
no,
money
he,
in it.
yeah, he puts more money in
He put
it. and
50
then-
cents in.
Yeah,
He did put more in?
yeah, he did.
It was doing the
Oh, okay.
Please insert 50 cents to continue
Well-
this call.
Yeah,
Well,
so that's
she
what
didn't
happens.
I guess she didn't listen to that part, so I don't know, because she never brings it up until later.
Yep,
So,
and now we're at the fusion reaction.
yeah, now we're at the presentation. Harry's there. All our major fun little players are there.
Before we go on, did any of you guys find a large roll of $20 bills with a rubber band on it? Because I found the rubber band.
yeah.
I know, stupid joke.
He's a robber! Guys, Otto took my money! Pin him down!
Cut off the arms.
Future
So-
Aaron, this waveform's going to be huge.
Oh,
I
yeah.
apologize.
It's going to be huge.
So, yeah, huge wait for him.
Very
So Donald
huge.
Trump was there too, I guess.
Yeah.
So
He was in the background.
He was in Home Alone, too.
Yeah, that is
he was.
true.
Walking around.
Yeah, they
Beaming
don't,
around.
they don't like that much. But anyway.
Yeah. A lot of people point that out still. They're like,
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's Trump.
down the hall to the left.
Down the
Down
to the
to the left.
I believe in my son. He's the best in the race.
uh,
He was in Little Rascals, too.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
This
I
is
believe
true.
in Spider-Man.
He was like the dad. He was like, I'm gonna win, Dad.
Thank you
I
so much.
believe it.
Dad.
You're the best son a man could ever buy.
I will buy. The oil I spent on you was well
Son,
worth it.
you're fired.
You're fired.
Son.
You're fired from being my son. Get out.
These grades are a little cringe. So anyway, so after Donald
I
Trump,
hired this man to be my son.
so after Donald Trump interrupted the fusion reaction, we are introduced to the big old metal arms, baby. Doc Ock's big old metal arms. And, you know, basically how it works, there's an AI that powers the arms that he can control with a neuroinhibitor chip on his spine.
On his cerebellum.
Before AI became real.
Exactly. This was just art, like supercomputer, advanced intelligence, whatever.
Yeah, it's beep boop boop computer. Wow.
Beep. Don't think about it too hard. So, you know, like he uses the arms, he's messing around with the reactor, and everything seems fine.
He uses tritium.
Sure.
Yeah, tritium. Yeah.
And everything seems fine. But there's a big old flare up and everything's going wrong. Harry wants him to shut it down. He's not shutting it down. Spider-Man swoops in because Peter leaves everyone, you know, the whole classic shindig. Saves Harry from getting crushed. Harry looks at him. This doesn't change anything. And he was like, all right, loser, see you later. Like, swings away.
And he's like, wait, what are you doing? I'm pulling the plug. No. And then Doc Ock slams Peter against the wall.
Yeah.
And then Rosie, his
wife, yeah.
Yeah, his wife
What,
is like, what? Before we move on, Aaron, what are you laughing
Yeah,
at?
what are you laughing at?
We'll put the beer back. We'll put the marshmallows back. No!
Oh, I know what you're talking
Oh, my God.
Classic Tourette's guy. You should look him up. He's a funny guy.
So Doc Tourette's Ock accidentally freaking goofs up and
Rosie gets killed by a bunch of broken
Glass.
shards of glass.
which introduces, well, no, it doesn't really introduce us because we kind of skipped a lot of other Sam Raimi extra moments like Go Spidey Go.
Yeah, well, you can't
Yeah.
forget about Go Spidey Go.
Yeah. Did
can't
Edison
forget.
sleep before he turned on the light? Yes.
But anyway, we're introduced to Sam Raimi's fascination with screaming women, which we got a lot in the first movie, and we get a lot here because she's like, ah! It's so, I like the way it's shot, obviously, with the way the glass looks and everything.
I like that.
but it's so funny.
I know all of the post credits for this episode.
Right, just
We're gonna have a
Boy.
we might have a mega cut.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Get your
Exactly.
you're on it. There you go.
Anyway, so Rosie's dead or whatever, and eventually the reactor is shut down.
Yeah.
And-
Well, the reactor destroys the inhibitor chip, and it also electrocutes Octavius. Peter pulls the plug. Reactor is gone.
Right, so everything, like obviously besides Rosie, everyone kind of seems okay. Harry walks out. He's like,
I'm ruined. I'm done. And it's
I'm
just
done
like,
for.
I'm
"No,
done.
I'm
for.
ruined. I have nothing left."
It's over.
Except
Red.
Spider-Man.
Like a fanboy. I have nothing.
That's
except
my line,
Spider-Man.
Aaron.
Oh my god. But so his people are like, "Listen, get out of here. The press are coming." Like, "Okay, see you later." Or
See you, chump.
the police or whatever. Like,
Thanks,
people are
Aaron.
coming. Get out of here. It's like, "Okay." So he leaves.
Now we're at the hospital scene where the doctors are trying to remove the four arms off of him off of Octavius. Here's the thing.
Off of Spider-Man.
I think hands down, in my opinion, this is the goofiest scene in the movie.
Really?
I don't
think
know.
so?
I'm calling this in the top 3. I'm putting it in the top 3. I wouldn't say okay.
I'm iffy on that.
I'm gonna put it in top 3 as like maybe number 2 as the goofiest scene in this movie.
All right.
It is. Almost cried laughing through this.
Really?
Why? Oh, because of all the screaming.
Yes,
and
for
all
just
that.
the funny
Anyone here
camera.
Anyone
Like,
here
you're
in
gonna take
shop class?
Yeah.
Because what they can't do is remove like the spinal part because it's infused into
Yeah, it's
his
just a whole-
vertebrae.
it's a whole like knot of
Yeah, and then
flesh.
as they're trying to remove it, then the arms start going haywire and go crazy. They're like,
Just watching random doctors go flying across
Imagine
the
being,
street
imagine
is
being in
so
the
funny
hallway
to me.
watching this, and you're just like, "Oh, what's going on? Oh, okay, they're having a little fun party in there."
I think
okay,
what made it funny to me is the fact there's no music in this scene.
No.
yeah, it's just
It's just
screaming.
pure silence.
But if you put like Benny Hill over this, it would be hilarious.
You just put like the arms like going.
put
Yeah.
Grease music on.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my!
Like the
just
fight
put-
scene from Deadpool Wolverine.
Just put Footloose on there.
That
Oh
would
my-
make the scene 10 times better.
I had the time of my life. It's just like the doctors are dying and being sent into like the
Time of your
darkness.
life.
So after
Yes.
Doc Ock mutilates a whole like crew of seasoned veterans and doctors and destroys a car and realizes what he'd done, he cries no, and the arms scream out too.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And then he escapes the hospital. He throws a taxi, and
Yeah.
he's like, "What is this power?" And then he realizes that something else is coming, and they're like, "Okay, we gotta go.
Yeah,
All right,
we-
let's go, chumps.
Come on,
Come on,
Arn.
guys.
Let's get out of here."
Right, the classic little line. So, why am I forgetting everything?
This movie's too funny.
God bless the 50s kids for giving us, come on, guys, let's get out of here.
And apparently, Doc Ock had
I heard that in a show the other day. Like they were
What
like, come
show?
on, let's get out of here. And I could not stop laughing.
That's funny. So apparently, on the set for Spider-Man 2, Alfred Molina actually named the 4 arms. It was Larry, Harry, Mo, and Flo.
So you basically made the 4 Stooges, but 2 of them.
And also the car from Cars, Flo.
Yeah, Flo.
And Mo.
So it was Mo, Larry,
Harry,
Flo, and
Flo.
Harry. That yeah.
Yeah, Larry, Harry, Mo,
Harry
and Flo.
Osborn, Larry David,
Larry the
Flo,
Cucumber.
the car, and
Mo.
Southwest Grill. Everyone's favorite quad.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
anyway,
So after this, now it's
Proud
cut,
sponsors of the Devil.
Mo Southwest Grill.
now it's cut to the Daily Bugle, where J. Jonah Jameson is like, Hoffman, what are we gonna name this guy? And we get a bunch of lists, some names.
Bruno Mars.
Dr. Crap.
Dr. Crap. That's pretty good. But it's taken. Also, Doctor Strange is mentioned in that too.
Yeah, no, actually, you know what? This is very retroactive, but I think this part is fun. Is that I believe it's been soft confirmed that the universe where we see the Illuminati and all those little goofballs in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is the same universe
I did
as these
hear about
Spider-Man
that.
movies. So it doesn't count technically, but it's retroactive like world building, the fact that Doctor Strange existed in this universe, which is very cute, very fun. That wasn't the
that's
plan,
good.
Very
but hey,
demure.
But it happened.
your diarrhea dump made a nice little painting. Good job, guys. So friggin' Dr. Crap, he's like, listen. Yeah, exactly. Dr.
Peter's
Crap.
also there too at the Daily Bugle, and J. Jonah Jameson is like, "Hey, where were you? Taking photos of squirrels? You're fired." And it's like, "No, you're on fire. I need you. Come here, Peter. My son got hit in the head
Aaron
by
is
a
still
squirrel."
laughing.
Crap. He's in a laughing
That
fit.
got me so off guard.
Dr. Crap.
Dr. Crap.
Dr.
Crap MD.
So Dr. Crap is like, man, I need some. I gotta build this thing again. We gotta make it bigger. But I need to figure it out. It's like, I'm not a
Well,
criminal. I'm
at
not
first he's like,
stealing.
"No, I don't want to do it." And then
But the arms are like,
they're manipulating. They're just like,
Hey.
"Hey, how's it going?"
Hey,
Hey.
how you doing? Let me whisper in your ear. It's like, I
Little
heard
mama, let me whisper in your ear.
Yeah, exactly. So after they give him a nice, cool pep talk, he's like, I will rob everyone and make this yippee.
I will build the bigger version of my machine.
I will
Hooray!
steal the moon and the sun. So, and then we
Take the moon. and
come back to
take the
Peter the
moon.
Frick Ranger. Where he's just friggin' figuring this nonsense all out.
Now they're now after that they're at the bank and they're trying to figure out how to work with Aunt May and her living situation, and Aaron is cackling.
Really?
over here.
Peter the Freak going. Just keep going.
So I have to say,
But anyways, they're talking about it and
very geriatric Watson. It's not gonna get you too.
Oh.
and they're like,
no.
"Oh, well, can we get the free toaster?" And
No!
and he's like, "No, you need to deposit $300 or more to get the free toaster."
Right.
And then we cut to Doc Ock opening up the vault.
First of all, in a fedora, in
In
a
a fedora.
coat, looking very
Trench
goofy,
coat.
and he
A
has
trench coat that goes down past the knees, and he's just like, "Hey kid, you want to buy some glow sticks?"
I don't think you said that part.
He could have.
I don't know about that. Anyway, so after Dr. Crap releases his rain of vengeance on the safe and steals some money, Peter's like, oh, I gotta go do something, and changes into Spider-Man. Starts messing with it, starts hanging out. It's like, you're really getting on my nerves. I do that well. And, throws him around. It's like, your son of yours is real brave. He ran away. He's like,
Ow.
ow. God,
Jeff
the
from
way he said
Community.
ow was so funny.
Yeah.
Ow. Wow.
Wow.
And-
My knee.
and while Dr. Crab and Peter the Park Ranger are fighting in the bank, the doctor takes a thing of money, chucks it at Peter, and he's like, "Ow!" And then ha! And then
Exactly, yep.
Yeah, and then he picks up Peter, and he's just like, "You're getting on my nerves, Spider-Man."
Like I just said, Shade. Thank you. They're fighting at the bank, and Doc Ock steals Aunt May, and they're going up a nice little freaking building,
A tower.
and they destroy some stuff. And there's a lot of more screaming women going, ah! Ah! Ooh, ah!
Aunt May is not holding on to that umbrella.
She really? Just
No.
not?
It's no way.
She's about to become a visiting angel?
yeah.
America's choice of death care?
Home
I don't know.
care.
Yeah.
And as
America's
Peter
Choice
was
Home
trying to save Aunt May,
Proud sponsors
He
of the
would-
double.
Doc Ock,
Visiting angels?
and while Peter was trying to save Aunt May, and he's just like, let her go, Doc Ock lets go of Aunt May. He's just like, Butterfingers.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, just freaking.
And then Aunt May
that?
is saved by an angel
Right. No, he's
statue.
not. Well, first of all, Spider-Man flies down, saves her, and whips her back up. Let's not forget that little crucial detail.
Okay, take a breather.
She didn't go splat
Take a
like a big
breather.
tomato.
And then
It's like she went back to formula and turned all back to blood.
she wanted that toaster, so she wanted to go back down.
Because that relates perfectly to the situation, Jane. Your segues are impeccable. But anyway, so after that.
That was a lot.
So after that. So there's, Peter and Dr. Crap are still fighting. And
I'm still gonna get
Is that his
every
new
time.
official name?
sure, Peter the
All
Park
right.
Ranger, Dr. Crap, the match made in hell. But
Match me now.
in hillbilly hell. But
Boy, yeah.
anyway, so they're fighting, and eventually Peter is able to drive him away because the cops show up. He's like, I gotta gets to go out of here,
Yeah.
and he brings Aunt May back down, and Aunt May's like, you saved me. You showed him what for? Showed us. We showed him what for. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, all right.
The
Dementia's hitting
fangirls-
hard these days. And then swings away after realizing the dementia crisis in his aunt.
And then all the fangirls start showing him. They're like, please, I want you, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking of the fangirls from Cars with the headlights.
Yes.
You lightning.
Ciao.
There's someone who animated a version of that, but with humans. I'm not joking.
Yeah. Oh
What?
no,
Like just in
I've
case
seen
you,
that.
just in case you couldn't figure out the joke.
I have seen it before.
Right. So after Peter the Park Ranger escapes Billy Hell,
Yeah.
friggin' what happens after this friggin' little scene?
I have it pulled
A
up on
cool
Disney
thing.
Plus.
Thank
Hang
you,
on.
Shane.
Oh, it's the party.
Are you watching the movie right now?
No.
Oh no, it's a nice little
Oh, okay.
timeline. So that's right. He has to go to the observatory party or whatever.
Yeah.
And-
Harry's there and he's getting drunk because he's upset about Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, and also the fact, I invested all this money into a criminal. Oops.
And
Oopsie
into
doodles.
a delusional man.
Oopsie.
Happens to the best of us, I guess. But
And then we're introduced to John, whatever his middle name is, Jameson.
Yeah, John J. Jameson or whatever.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. So, freaking, he's like, listen, this party isn't for anyone. It's for my son, the astronaut, Yibbity-dee. And we find out at
My
this
man
point...
photographer got hit in the head by a squirrel. Crap.
Exactly. And at this point, I know it's already kind of been revealed to us because we've seen him in earlier scenes, but Peter finally figures out, this whole, astronaut guy that I have to do this whole party for, that's who's dating Mary Jane, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, that's a whole thing because he goes up to MJ and is like, hey, you're getting married. And MJ's not having it because she's sick and tired of Peter, her best friend supposedly, kind of just being an empty seat, right?
Yeah.
And we'll kind of get into why this doesn't work a little later, but we freaking deal with that. And Peter's already kind of at an all-time low. And we get this very funny gag where he keeps trying to eat something or have this little drink, and it's just not happening. Every time he thinks he gets something, it's empty. And
You run through this whole deep emotional conversation, and then you just follow it with he gets the drink. There's nothing in it.
it's funny. It's so funny. Good for him. But heartbreak? I don't know.
It's funny.
Ozempic.
Ozempic.
I don't know.
Proud drug partner of the Double After Hours podcast.
Take your crack today. But and literally immediately after Peter has this awful heartbreaking talk with MJ, realizing he might not get the girl of his dreams, Harry is like, "Hey buddy, you suck." Just starts
Stole my frisbee.
exactly, just starts
Huh?
totally laying into
Starts
him
slapping
and slapping him in public, and Peter's forever already kind of screwed. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what the heck am I doing?"
And we're also
here?"
learned that John proposed to MJ, and
Of
she said
course.
yes. And he's like, "Park!" And J. Jonah Jameson's like, "Parker, get the picture. I need it. I need it more than Spider-Man at this time. But get more Spider-Man. I care about him more.
Why isn't Peter Parker married to MJ?
Why is Spider-Man here?
Why is Peter Parker married to my son?
He should be officiating the wedding. Was it married to Dr. Crap?
Why is it Dr. Crap marrying my son?
Dr. Crap.
He'd be so helpful around the house.
Make some order.
He can pick up anything. It'd be great.
It'd be fun.
Could be fun. Have him at the beach. Could fit right in. But anyway,
Oh boy, yeah.
so after Dr. Crap, so after J. Jonah Jameson finishes professing his proposal to Dr. Crap,
Because that definitely happened.
right, everyone knows that it's canon.
Happened in a dream.
It's canon. No, it's not. It's real.
No,
It's-
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
happened
is.
in the movie.
It is real.
So
I
Peter's
forgot.
swinging around to clear his head, and he's been struggling with his powers like for a bit now. But
Yeah.
they just fully just kind of stop at this point. He tries to swing, doesn't work, falls to the ground. Oopsie poopsies,
Ouch.
not happening, champ. And he's
Yeah.
and he realizes like, hey, he's so stressed, he's so crazy right now. He quits being Spider-Man. Full stop. We get a recreation of the iconic panel where he puts the suit in the trash
Well,
can.
he's at the doctor's, and also Dr. Crap is building his machine, smoking a nice Cuban
I
cigar.
know. Like, I'm well aware, but he comes to the conclusion, I gotta quit being Spidey. So he
Yeah.
does, and
Don't
like
forget
literally,
Uncle Ben.
obviously he talks to Uncle Ben. He has this whole emotional pivot. They were like, Peter, you got a responsibility to go to Ben's fried rice.
Gotta get some Cusco.
Hey Peter, it's me, Joe from Family Guy.
Hey, Peter.
Oh my god.
You go to the old observatory. That's where you'll find him. That's where you'll find Cusco. Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Make sure to take the poison.
I like the idea in the flashback scene where they're in the car. Joe from Family Guy is just sitting in the background. Like, hey Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter. You gotta stop being Spider-Man.
Peter.
You gotta be yourself.
Can I be Spider-Man? I'll take over.
I'll be Spider-Chair.
I've wanted this for my entire life.
Oh, boy. Hey,
All right, we're gonna do it once more.
Great power comes
Back to
great
formula.
responsibility. And also
Yeah,
great
Peter,
Cusco.
gotta go back to
So after
formula.
a hard pep talk with Uncle Ben's fried rice and Joe from Family Guy, he decides to quit being Spider-Man. Yippity doo.
And then it's like a montage of Peter becoming his original self.
Don't forget the song.
Yeah, raindrops keep falling on my head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great song,
It's all
by the
good.
way.
Right. After Peter eats a nice little crappy hot dog and watches crime go by.
No.
He doesn't care.
Well, no, he goes to class like he's actually doing what he's
He
supposed to.
doesn't care about the crime, though. He just
writes his
ignores
pa-
it.
Because he's
writes
not
his-
Spider-Man anymore.
Exactly.
He's back in action.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
He's back to his nerdy
He's
action.
not in
So
action at this
actually,
point. He's
so
so
back.
back.
We're
So back.
Oh yeah.
No, he's not. We're so back.
Back to formula.
He's not Spider-Man right now.
Back to formula.
Yeah, he's going back to his OG formula.
Exactly.
Existing.
But he can't go, we're so back after he just quit being Spider-Man.
We're so back.
Yeah, you're so
It'd be
back
like if I
to-
told you I
yeah.
quit my job and you'd be like, you know
We're
what?
so back.
I'm so happy you're working.
There you go.
Doesn't work. So anyway,
You're right. It doesn't.
Peter's doing all this, and eventually he's able to go finally see MJ's play.
Yeah.
Right? And she literally like stops her line on stage because she just wasn't comprehending
She was
that
mesmerized.
Peter the sex god park ranger was able to be there. He goes to talk to MJ after the play, and MJ's like, you do realize like the fact you showed up for one play doesn't change anything, right? And he's like, what? No, punch me, I bleed. And it's like, it's like, no, exactly. He's just like, listen, I'm getting married, dude. Like, we can't, like, what are we doing here? And he's like,
I'm trying my best here.
I thought I had to do something. I don't
Give me
have-
another chance.
Exactly. Peter the Park Ranger's trying to, like, do his, like, spider riz to MJ, and it's just not happening because, of course, she's getting married. Why would it happen?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she gets in the taxi cab or whatever and drives away. He's like, oh, crap.
Oh, no.
This is a
Oh, no. Anyways.
It's all falling apart.
It's a big load of spider crap.
This is not coming
Now,
together.
and now we go to the Daily Bugle where J. Jonah Jameson learns that Spider-Man threw in the towel and he has
yeah.
his suit and he gives $100 to a guy and a bar of soap because the guy smells.
Yeah.
Hey, here's $100 and a bar of soap.
Everyone can be freaking Joe from Family Guy.
Yeah,
This
Joe from
joke has
Family Guy
got
runs the Daily Bugle, guys.
It's the Daily Joe now.
The
Daily Joe.
The Daily Joe. That's actually kind of
Instead of
that's
a
actually
bugle,
really
it's a
good.
wheelchair now. Everyone knows that. It's very big crossover.
All the news is on a wheelchair instead of the newspaper.
Right.
What?
It's wheeling around the city with headlines on it.
Are you, what?
What?
What are you talking about?
Jade's bright ideas.
This is an awful community outreach idea. We're going to have to keep it from the board. Oh my god.
Well, anyways,
So
Been
after
demoted.
Joe from Family Guy shows up again, freaking,
Oh, yeah.
he goes to the freaking Bugle or whatever and does all this nonsense.
now the park ranger guy and his grandma go to, or no, aunt.
Yeah.
They go to Uncle Ben's tomb site,
Right.
and they're mourning his loss. And then we go back to the house, and Peter finally tells the truth about what happens that night, where he was dropped off at the library, didn't go to the library, went to get some money to buy a car to impress MJ from the first movie, and then it's like Ben gets shot. He
basically regales what actually happened to
Yeah,
him.
New York
Here.
Jets fan Ben.
You know what he forgot, though? He left out a key detail.
What was that?
15 minutes of playtime.
3 minutes of playtime.
So after I messed around with this guy for 15 minutes.
So after I was trapped in this cage with
It was
this
3
guy
minutes of
for
playtime,
2 minutes.
first of all.
Oh, so it was 15 minutes? of
No, it
playtime?
was 3 minutes.
It was
But
3
he
minutes.
beat him in 2.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Don't get the money.
Don't get the money.
Exactly. So after he tells all this traumatizing stuff
money.
to Aunt May is like, "Oh, okay." And
She
walks
goes
away.
up to her room, closes the door.
And Peter walks away. I guess he's like, "Well, I guess that's the end of this interaction. See you later."
Congratulations.
Bye.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna leave the door open.
Yeah.
And then Doc Ock finishes building his machine. He meets up with Harry, and he's like, "Hello, Harry. Harry.
Hello, Peter. Yeah, exactly. So Dr.
tritium.
yet?
So Dr. Crap is like, "I need the tritium," and Harry originally doesn't want to do it. He's like, "Heck no, I'm not doing that." Almost
Bring me
kills Harry.
Spider-Man alive."
Yeah, bring me Spider-Man. I'll give you the tritium. He's like, "All right, Jake. All right, boss.
All right,
I'll
buddy."
do it."
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Exactly. So
buddy.
you know, and then the next scene,
Got
freaking,
my tritium, buddy?
God, freaking, what?
That's gonna need to be edited up.
What? Husky Ock,
Yeah.
the freaking like sex phone worker or whatever.
Yeah.
He has 4 phones on each of the arms, just like, "Hey,
Hey,
buddy,
buddy. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I got 4 tentacles, and I know
Wanna see what they
exactly
can
where
do?"
they're going." Just, oh my god, dude. But
That's not where I thought that was going to go, but
well,
alright.
where
Yeah,
did you
no.
think it was gonna go, Aaron?
Better in your head.
Yeah, it was better in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want it?
Yeah.
So now we're cut to Peter, and there's a fire in an apartment building. He finds a kid, saves the kid, brings her to safety, and then after the fire's put out, he learns that there was somebody else stuck in the building, and he perished.
Die.
He died.
Yay.
He gets back to his apartment, and the rent guy's daughter is like, "Yeah, here's some cookies."
It was cake.
It's cake.
I'm sorry that Joe from Family Guy wasn't there to deliver the cake to him, Shane, because maybe you would have remembered.
It's cake and milk.
It's like, we want chocolate cake. This is a great chocolate cake. Bye.
Yummy. Bye. And then we go back to Aunt May's house, and she's moving out.
Yep, she's moving out, and she's like, you know, I work at a grocery store, saving pennies for nothing. And
There you go.
you
Mama
know,
Leone lifted a note on the door.
Yeah.
Said, son, you move out to the country.
thank you. So,
Because working too hard can give you a heart
Attack.
and Peter should know by now. But so anyway, guys, he goes to a dinner date with MJ, or a lunch date, because it's in the middle of the day. Screw you guys. But he goes to get coffee or whatever, and you know they're all talking, and Peter was like, "Hey, listen, I know I said I had a thing to do." And I didn't have to do it anymore. I have to do it now. Sorry. I can't help be there for you, MJ. Nah. And they're having this nice little conversation. When Dr. Crap shows up and is like, I'm going to go get Peter. And he's like, listen, you gotta bring your friend Spider-Man out or I'm going to kill you or whatever. I'm going to kill MJ. And he's like, if you lay a finger on her and like he steals away MJ. Or
you'll
whatever.
do what?
And he's got to
I'll
change.
pee on your girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. He has to pee on Joe from Family Guy because that's all we do here. And he changes into Spider-Man. He has to go pursue freaking. Well, first of all, he has to go get his suit. That's very important. He goes get his suit from J. Jonah Jameson.
And he's like, I want pictures of Spider-Man!
We freaking get our final confrontation with Peter the Park Ranger and Dr. Crap, right? Just why not, I guess. They have a big old funny little fight. And MJ's there, tries to help, gets folded, yippee.
You forgot about the train scene.
You're right. There is a train scene. And honestly,
You have
in
a
all
train to
seriousness,
catch.
Lest I forget. That's one of the best scenes in the movie. Because first of all, he's on the train.
Yeah.
And you know.
They're on the clock first, and then they move to the train.
No, right. Yeah, obviously they fight in the whole clock, and then they go to the train scene. Which is probably one of the best superhero action sequences in film so far. And largely just kind of becomes for just how creative and fun it gets. Again, this was 2004, if I remember correctly. So obviously it was a little limited by what we could do today, and even like other later train fights later, which are also very cool. I know the Wolverine has a very fun train fight, and it just feels exhilarating. Mainly just because of just how many different moving parts there are. Like, Doc Ock is throwing people out of the subway. Spidey's trying to navigate traffic and get back on, go through bridges and grates in order to catch up. There's different fight scenes. You know, it's very much kind of feels like they had this very planned out, and it was super fun to watch, right? So we get this whole train fight or whatever, and like, you know, he screws over the train because he stops the brakes. You got a train to catch, ha ha ha, and leaves.
Yeah.
So Peter the Park Ranger goes and stops the train and passes out because, you know, that was a lot of force on him. And
before we get to that, though,
yeah,
I'm sad Bryce is not here because this is one of his favorite people of all time, Joey Diaz. Have you ever seen clips of Joey Diaz online? He actually is in this movie.
What?
He's the guy that says, he's one line in the whole movie where he goes, "If you want to get to him, you got to go through me."
Yep, and me.
I saw an interview. I just caught it randomly one time, where he said that he got paid $14,000
for that
line.
Just that line.
He got put up at a hotel from Sony. He got like a full catering and everything for one line.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Good
I
money.
wish that were me.
Yeah, right.
I am starving, so I wish that was me. But
You want some Sony food?
heck yeah, dude. Whatever they're serving. But
Sony gun.
Sony gun.
tastes like tears and wasted dreams. But
Now Peter Parker, his mask gets burned up. He reveals himself, and they're like, "It's Spider-Man!" And then he's
just a kid.
Yeah, he's
no
just a
older
kid.
than my daughter.
Exactly. And then
Guess he's trying
Doc
to
Ock
set him
shows
up, I
up,
guess.
and then the line shows up, and he's like, Doc Ock's like, "Very well." He brushes through the crowd. Then Spider-Man is like, "All right, I surrender." And then he's transported to Harry Osborn and his penthouse.
Yeah, and like, you know, we get our nice little dramatic reveal. He hits a tritium. He walks away because I guess it's really funny the way it's shot, where Harry didn't notice that Dr. Crap was leaving.
Yeah.
Like, really, the big loud mechanical arms. You gonna figure that one out, Dr. Crap. But
Even though you had a Jurassic Park like scene earlier with the thudding.
right,
yeah.
exactly. So, you know, Looney Tunes logic aside, he leaves cackling or whatever, and, you know, he's like, "All right, I'm going to find out who Spider-Man is. It's Peter." What?
No way.
It was like, "You killed my father." No. It's like, dude, there's bigger things happening right now. If I don't stop Dr. Crap, everything's going to go to crap. And it's like, he's at the observatory. Nah. So Peter the Park Ranger swings all the way over there. And, you know, we finally get what I alluded to earlier, our big, funny little fight scene with freaking Dr. Crap in the observatory in the ocean or whatever.
Okay.
Or in the river, sorry. It's not an ocean. I don't know why I said it was an ocean. But, anyway. So, you know, they're having a big little fight. And eventually, Doc Ock is kind of snapped back to his senses and is like, "Hey."
Snap back to reality.
Exactly.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, there goes the TV.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
And eventually he snaps back to reality. And he's like, "Listen, we gotta shut down this thing. It's gonna blow up the whole city or whatever." It's like, well, there's no way to shut it down unless we drown it. So Doc Ock sacrifices himself to drown the sun. Good for him. Sorry that Dr. Crap had to go out this way.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And after all that is said and done, like, Peter is like, hey, like, saves MJ. They all swing off or whatever. And he's like, "MJ, like, I can't be with you, da 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 da." And then, like, you know, obviously everyone else shows up, the press, and, you know, John Jameson, he has to swing away. And the next scene, if I remember correctly, it's the wedding scene. Because remember, they're getting married.
Yes.
No, wait, no. Before that, it's Harry, and because Harry is in his penthouse.
You know what? You're right.
And Willem Dafoe as
Silly
Norman,
Willy himself.
He's back.
Makes his silly return.
silly return, and he's like, "Now you know the truth about Peter, Harry.
Avenge me!
Avenge me!"
It's like, Harry's like, "No!"
No.
Exactly. He breaks the glass and finds, there's a whole storage of spare Green Goblin things in here.
Green Goblin merch.
And, wow, free toys. And wow,
New toys.
So after Harry Osborn discovers all the new toys, alluding to his Green Goblin later, we cut to the wedding scene.
Yep, and John Jameson is alone at the altar.
He's at the altar. All of our favorite
Cancel
little
the
characters
caviar.
are there. Harry's there. J. Jonah Jameson there, says to cancel the caviar. And it's revealed that MJ ran away from the wedding in the dress and everything, with a big old goofy smile on her face.
Of course.
Just to see Peter. She shows up at his apartment and is like, listen, you gotta let me make my own choices here, dude. I want to be with you.
How'd she get in?
God, I wish. The Rentmeister, I guess, let it happen.
Okay.
But freaking, like, hey, I guess they're a thing now. And they start making out, and eventually there's crime, and...
Go get him, Tiger.
Exactly. She says the thing from the comics that makes everyone go, like a clapping seal, and he swings away to go fight crime, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
That's Spider-Man 2 featuring Joe from Family Guy. Aren't we all so excited? And I guess to kind of briefly wrap this up, we'll kind of do a little closing thoughts thing, because we've been going for a minute here. And we'll start with Aaron.
Yep.
Okay. Closing thoughts. So, yeah, like I hate to parrot, but again, this is something from the very start of this podcast, and it's something that I think is probably the best way you can say it. You can't have a bad time watching it.
Exactly.
It's fun all the way through. It's funny all the way through.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much in this movie that just it's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And as someone who as the resident, I'm just here along for the ride when it comes to anything superhero, Marvel, DC, Image. I don't care, whatever.
He knows the other things.
Yeah, I know the other thing with the funny guy.
Just offending my whole describe the whole pursuit of Image Comics as the funny guy.
Yeah, him, the dude.
There was other people there.
The three
dude with
dudes.
the
It wasn't
thing.
just him.
The Three Stooges.
It wasn't just
Image
Tom
Comics.
McFarlane.
Yeah,
It wasn't just him.
the guys, the boys, the fellas,
The gang.
the
Gang's all here.
Yeah, the gang's all
I'll
here.
let that slide.
Okay, you let that slide.
I'll let the fellow slide because that's what it was.
Okay, all right. So, anyways, the fellas, yeah. As resident, I'm just along for the ride when it comes to anything based on that. I mean, you can still watch this and have fun with it. I mean, you can get into the characters too. It's not like it's just like throwing you into this and it's, oh, okay, who's that? All right, who's that?
All right.
All right.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah.
Oh, there's that guy.
There's that guy. It's just a great movie. I mean, in it as a non superhero fan, well, depends. Very much depends. A minimal, not as much as everybody probably else in the room here. Phil, I don't know about you. Are you superhero guy?
I mean,
Depends.
It depends.
Okay. It's a funny movie.
It's
It's a funny
is.
movie, and I like it. And
So many memeable things.
So many memeable things. That's the other thing too. It's just the memeable things in that movie. It's phenomenal.
Peter screaming.
Yep.
So, but yeah, two will be always it's up in my favorite movies. But yeah, I cannot wait for 3.
All right, Shane.
For me, I enjoyed this movie. I even seen it a bunch of times. I still like it. It definitely has its funny parts. Now, after watching it and being like in my video services and stuff, I liked all the different camera angles it got, because Sam Raimi in all of his movies does a lot of close-up stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's one thing that I really liked, and it was when Peter was on his way to meet up with Doc Ock for that one fight on the train, and it cuts from him swinging to the reflection on Doc Ock's glasses.
Yeah, that's a very cute shot.
I liked that shot. And
Can I mention one thing?
What?
Sure.
I hate to interrupt.
Yes.
There's this. We were talking about this in the car.
Yeah.
In this scene, so he throws the two people right at Toby. Toby does the thing
Yeah, the
and
funny-
saves him, right? And then Doc Ock's looking. He turns around and goes, "What is that noise, buddy?"
It's just
Yeah,
the
but I
noise
did- yeah.
of so many people.
But
It's a
I
Dr.
did
Crap
like
noise.
but I did
He's taking a Dr. Crap.
exactly.
Ha ha
Yeah,
ha,
they're-
so funny.
But yeah,
The guy.
Am I
everything
funny? Am I
about the
funny
camera
yet?
angles and
He's a fun guy.
everything
Yeah,
about
Dr.
the
Crap.
about this movie. It was good. I did enjoy it. Good story on how they portrayed Peter Parker in this and how it went from him having his powers to then having an existential crisis where he lost his powers and then officially got them back and became Peter the Park Ranger once more.
There you go.
And Charlie, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all,
Or
Phil's
Phil,
also here.
sorry.
Oh, of course. Well, yeah. I was
Sorry,
sort of
Phil.
dragged into this thing.
Yeah, you're
I
just
apologize.
Drag,
But,
you invited
well-
yourself here.
Hey,
Hey, I'm just along for the ride.
You
Just like-
were here to pick up an Ethernet cable
Yeah.
with a USB NIC.
I'm like, you know what? But I thought Spider-Man 2 was a little bit more organized, a lot more thought out than
Right.
Spider-Man 1, in my opinion. we see Tobey Maguire's character develop a little bit more. You sort of see the whole Spider-Man
duality.
arc sort of develop more and more, and
Right.
hopefully we'll get into more of that as we go on to Spider-Man 3. But again, a good film, and I kind of wish I kind of wish I watched it a little bit more recent so I could tag along with you guys a little bit more. But
Oh, sure.
I think I think overall it was a very good movie. Definitely, like we alluded to before, a lot of memeable things, and I think overall pretty good film for what it was.
Yeah, and I guess we'll end with me because I'm the comic guy.
Yeah.
That's my whole white guy.
He's the
shtick.
expert.
Oh yeah,
That's
he
your White
definitely
Thunder.
is.
Exactly.
The White Thunder.
That-
White Thunder.
Exactly. I'm White Thunder, Spider-Man himself, and I know I didn't get too much into it with this podcast, but like I kind of alluded to in the beginning, this movie does a phenomenal job at showing the duality of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because this whole movie is just Peter just getting destroyed, just getting dumped on, and a lot of people really like that. And when people generally think about how do you write Spider-Man well, this is usually the textbook example of like what you have to do. You have to show how Peter's life affects Spidey's and vice versa. Peter Parker stops being Spider-Man, crime goes up, and everyone feels unsafe. Peter is Spider-Man too much, his friends think he's garbage. It's the never-ending kind of battle he has to go through. But there's one thing this movie does that a lot of other Spider-Man media, I think, fails to kind of do. You need to give him little wins too. That's the most important part of this whole dynamic. You can't sit here and make a movie about Spider-Man or a show where he's just getting dumped on the whole time with nothing that he gains, because at that point, why even do it, right?
Right.
But here, fundamentally, if you kind of think about what he was able to do, he was still able to get the girl of his dreams, even if he thought he wasn't able to do it. He was still able to kind of do what he kind of set out to do. And that kind of what makes, I think, this movie a lot more different than other Spider-Man movies will be coming up to, is because, for one thing, that dynamic is very clearly shown to us. Like, it's very hard to miss. It does the whole Spider-Man quitting thing very well, as you totally get it. And, again, it gives him the little wins. And when you're writing Spider-Man or kind of consuming Spider-Man media, you gotta let Peter win a little bit, so that way it kind of feels like you're gaining something as an audience when you watch something. Because if I were to show you of like a 10-minute film of a guy shanking a guy, but the guy getting shanked doesn't get some kind of like revenge,
No.
you wouldn't care. Exactly. What's the point? Like, what's the plot, So, yeah. I know kind of a weird, crude example, but anyway. Yeah. That's all I
Spider-Man
got.
2, folks.
It's Spider-Man 2. It's a great movie. It's on
Spider-Man
Disney
2.
Plus if you haven't for some reason seen it. Go watch it. We'll talk about Spider-Man 3 in the next coming months because we got a ton of stuff we're going to talk about later. So I think that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to the Double After Hours podcast. If you want to check us out on any of our socials, we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and a bunch of other nonsense. We have all that stuff linked on our podcast pages and like probably linked wherever you find this episode. It's in the description. If you want to check us out in other places where highlights are, check us out there. I've been Charlie Robinson, and I'll see you all next time.
I'm Phil Arcaro. Thanks for joining us.
I've been Shane Siegel, and I'll see you guys in the future.
And I'm Aaron Gresser. And goodbye, Cusco.
Thank you for listening to the Double After Hours podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to check out our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm Aaron Gresser, and thanks for staying after hours.
Wait, I got it. Dr. Crap.
I like it.
Of course you do.